1-800-CONTACTS is an American success story. Founded 25 years ago by a BYU student, the company revolutionized the way that Americans buy contact lenses. Today, they are still innovating, especially in light of the coronavirus. In the Task Force 10, where we spend 10 insightful minutes with business and community leaders, I'm grateful to be joined today by the CEO of 1-800-CONTACTS, John Graham. John, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Derek.
All the businesses are adapting, innovating, and overcoming. That's the mantra that we've adopted at the Economic Response Task Force, and I'd love to hear from you what you're doing at 1-800-CONTACTS to adapt, to innovate, and overcome, especially as it relates to your employees.
So with regards to our employees, the most important thing for us right off the bat was to keep everybody safe. And so we moved everybody home as quickly as we could. Most of our employees could move home almost immediately. We actually picked up and moved our entire call center to homes around the valley. It's about 400 people that we moved home in less than a week. And then we do have distribution centers both here in Salt Lake as well as in Charlotte, North Carolina. And we have really changed the way that we work in those distribution centers to keep everybody spaced out and safe and clean, and make sure that we can continue to ship contacts, but in a way that we keep our customer or our associates safe.
Obviously, keeping those associates safe is important. Equally important is making sure that you're doing that in a way that continues to serve your customers. Tell me why it is so important for your customers that they can continue to access the care and the supplies that they need from your company.
So for our customers, most contact lens wearers, they wear contacts, they don't wear glasses. It's a consumable that they go through. And most contact lens wearers tend to wait until the very last second before they replenish their contact lenses. And so we've been getting a lot of calls from worried customers over the last couple of weeks because most of the other places where they can get their contacts are not available anymore. Their optometrist has closed or their local optical shop. And so we're getting calls from people around the country trying to find contacts. They may be nurses and doctors on the front line, moms and dads trying to take care of their families. And we're just grateful that we're in a position where we can take care of them in a time of need.
You mentioned moving, I think you said 400 of your associates to be able to work remotely, work from home. That's a big change for any company. Do you think this will be a long-term change? How do you, looking into the future, how is this these adaptations changed your business, and how will it change it going forward?
Yeah, I think there are changes that will happen long-term, both for our associates as well as for our customers. For our associates, I think that we've come to appreciate different ways that we can work more informally, that we don't have to be in the same room to get a lot done. And so I suspect that our ability to work informally and have people telecommute where it makes sense and just work around the vicissitudes of life, we're in a much more flexible place as a workforce now. I think for our customers, it'll really change the way that they think about things as well. We've been driving telemedicine in the vision care space for a few years now, and it's really taken off over the last few years, and then of course has just gone through the roof with COVID. And I think that once people see that they can get an eye exam online and get their contacts and glasses online, I think a lot of those changes are here to stay.
In addition to COVID-19 and this current pandemic changing your business, do you see it also changing your industry?
Absolutely. Yeah, our industry has been one that's been quite hesitant to change. If you think about it, most of the way that people buy contacts and glasses is about the same as it was 50 or 100 years ago. You go into your eye doctor and you get an eye exam and get contacts and glasses. And that's been changing over the last couple of years. But I think now this really accelerates that change as people realize that there's a way to just do that directly that's more simple and more affordable.
You know, 1-800-CONTACTS is ubiquitous. It's a household name. It may be true that not all Utahns know that it's a Utah company. They may know 1-800-CONTACTS, but not know it as a Utah company. Tell us about 1-800-CONTACTS in the community and why that's important for you.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think some people don't know. And we, as one of the original .com companies here in Utah, we take being part of the ecosystem here very seriously. We try to be engaged within the local community, both with the Salt Lake Chamber of Commerce and with Silicon Slopes and Women in Business, and so many great things are happening here in the Valley. We also try to give back. A couple of ways that we focus a lot on giving back. We're engaged in a lot of site-related charities, both here locally and even internationally in trying to reduce blindness and things like that. And then we also have a lot of passion for mental health and have been very engaged, especially here in the Valley where we've had a bit of an epidemic of healthcare, mental health issues, and it's affected a lot of us personally, and it's affected our associates and their families and their friends. And so we've really tried to be involved in getting awareness out there and reducing the stigma of mental health as well.
Well, that's phenomenal. And thank you for what you're doing in the community, also in families and individuals' lives. John, my last question for you is, what advice would you have? You're a CEO of a large organization, does business all over the place, from businesses large to small. They're trying to figure out how to adapt, innovate, and overcome. What advice would you have for them?
I think as we go through COVID, every business is struggling with something unique. Some are just struggling to make payroll. Some, like us, are struggling with growth. Everyone has their own struggles. But I think fundamentally you have to start with your customers and with your associates. And if you can take care of both of those, you're going to be in good shape. And in our case, we've really started with our associates, made sure that we can keep them employed and keep them safe. We feel very fortunate we're in a place where we can keep that, where we can do that, and we can also take care of our customers. And we've always been a very customer backwards sort of company. Start with whatever the customer need is and work our way backwards. And the customer needs have changed during this, but in a lot of ways they haven't changed at all in our business. It still comes down to making vision care simple and affordable for Americans.
It's great advice. Thank you for sharing it. And thanks for joining us on today's Task Force 10.
Thanks for having me.